What it do, being crew? It's your boy Savon Thomas, back with another episode of Coffee and Comments. Today we're going to review the movie Unfrosted. Was it good? Was it trash? Let's talk about it, but first, let's take a sip. Welcome back, Bean Crew. Again, this is a review of the movie Unfrosted. As always, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys for always tuning in. Unfrosted was enjoyable, but I think people were expecting something different, including myself. So, when I saw the trailer for this movie, I thought it would be a movie about Pop-Tarts, but like a biopic or something. Like, I thought it was like a history, like a documentary, honestly. I should have known, like, it was written by Jerry Seinfeld, right? Directed by Jerry Seinfeld as well. So I should have known it would be like dry humor, dry comedy. The cast as well, you have a ton of comedians in this movie. And so it was basically like this cheesy story about how Pop-Tarts were created. But no, it's not a real story. There's some parts of the story that are real, but overall it's just like a goofy movie. Like a movie that I probably would have watched as a kid and enjoyed. Kind of like Power Rangers. Like, if you remember the old school Power Rangers, I remember watching it as a kid and really enjoying it, and then rewatching it and being like, this movie is absolutely terrible. Same thing with Unfrosted. Like, it's just, like, there's parts where you'll enjoy it, there's parts where there's, like, you'll laugh for sure, but it's just a very, like, dry comedy about Pop-Tarts being made. So, there's nothing really significant to it. Other than, like, let me say this. I guess let me back up. I did enjoy, like, the bits of history, but you just never know, like, what's true and what's not, right? Like, I'm like, is that real? Is that fake? Like, is this story real? Is this story fake? Like, I had to go look up, basically fact check, which I'm not big into fact checking, but I had to go fact check this movie and see, like, what was real. Like, the Grandma Holes cereal, that's real. There was really a cereal called Grandma Holes, which is so weird. But it's just, there's a lot going on with this movie that I thought was like, okay, this is funny, this is a cool story, this is made for, I would say probably made for children. Even though, like, when you watch the trailer, you would think it's like the story of Pop-Tarts. It's really just like a fun made up story that they just did. Yeah, a bunch of comedians like, let's write this corny comedy and let's all starring it. But it was enjoyable. I mean, it was tough to get through sometimes, but I would say this. I wouldn't rewatch it, but I'm not mad that I watched it, if that makes sense. Like, that's my best depiction of this movie. Is I'm not mad that I watched it, but I wouldn't go back and rewatch. One thing that I thought was interesting too with this movie is what's with the infatuation with January 6th. I see a lot of movies, multiple movies, they're like, let's do a January 6th remake. I guess they want to keep it in, like, the public ire of, like, not forgetting about, like, January 6th. Like, they want to make sure people remember, like, the whole situation that happened. But it's just, like, the January 6th, like, remake with the Frosted Flakes character. I was like, okay, that's interesting. You know, there's stuff that, again, like I said before, funny. Some stuff's funny. Some stuff's just kind of like, I gave this movie a 6.4 out of 10. You know, medium roast, obviously. Again, average movie. If you want to watch it, go watch it. There's nothing to write home to mom about. Just an average movie on Netflix. But that's my thoughts. Let me know if you guys liked it, if you guys hated it, what your thoughts were in the comments. But as always, appreciate you guys for tuning in to another episode of Coffee and Comments.